And then at 4:35, there will be a question and answer session and moderator-led discussion, and started with a response from Ibu Anik Prasetyaningsih as lecturer in Biotechnology, Duta Wacana State University. After the discussion, there will be the closing of the event by the MC, followed by a quiz to get door prize and end picture. That will be the rundown of the event. As a reminder, participants are free of charge for event registration. The attendance list of the event to obtain an e-certificate will be shared in the middle of the event through the Google form that will be submitted through the chat feature. In addition to that, there will be a door prize for interesting prizes. There are 5 books from the university and 10 vouchers from Yakum Rehabilitation Center for swimming and for free coffee in the cafe. Therefore, participants are expected to be able to participate in the discussion until the end of the event. Without further ado, let's start with the first speech by Ibu Katarina Sari as the Director of Yakum Rehabilitation Center. Thank you, Mbak Stephanie, for being the MC for today's event. To the Honorable Bapak David Curtis as the consultant from Light of the World, and Bapak Niti from CFDB Cambodia, and to the Honorables of Yakum Rehabilitation Center, Farming Group in Bantul, Yogyakarta, lecturers of Duta Wacana Christian University, speakers, and moderator who are willing to support today's event in our virtual expo today. Good afternoon, greetings to all of us. This afternoon, I would like to greet all of you to our today's Zoom event. I would like to thank to the Almighty for His abundant blessing for all of us. We are all in a healthy and happy state. I wish you a happy Eid Fitri for those who just celebrated. Thank you for being present today in Agrilab Virtual Expo 2021, which carries the theme Improving the Quality of Agricultural Work Equipment Design and Inclusive Trade. I truly appreciate your making time during the holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, in approximately 1.5 years, Yakum Rehabilitation Center initiated to support various capacity building efforts for people with disabilities and rural communities. And this is part of a community-based rehabilitation program that we are currently continuing to develop. One of them is an inclusive agricultural program in Purworejo, Central Java, which in its implementation we use and develop creative capacity building methods that aim to support the independence of people with disabilities to be actively involved in activities in the agricultural and livestock sectors, including for the promotion and trade efforts. The program is a collaboration of two NGOs from Yakum Rehabilitation Center in Indonesia and CDMD in Cambodia. With funding support from Voice, and there is a consultative process with LFGW, EWB, and also the Wacana Christian University for programs running in Indonesia. Agrilab program emphasizes efforts to think creatively and find solutions to overcome the problem of funds, an obstacle experienced by friends with disabilities, specifically in their efforts to be able to do productive activities and lead to self-reliance both physically, economically, and socially. Although the main focus on the friends of people with disabilities, the process applies to everyone. After obtaining information about the obstacles, we think and try various solutions to overcome them until finally we can find a creative solution as one of the solutions to the problems.
Penyelesaian masalah atau hambatan yang
At the end, we can find a creative solution to solve to the problem we found in the process.
Kemudian penyelesaiannya itu processing akhir gitu ya, kami juga melibatkan dan mengajak pihak-pihak lain untuk terlibat.
The program also involved other parties to think about the ideas and make this a real form to address to the problem.
Gagasan itu bisa menjadi satu bentuk nyata yang bisa dirasakan oleh teman-teman disabilitas secara khusus dalam mengatasi masalah atau hambatan yang mereka rasakan. Dan kami yakin bahwa support yang baik dari berbagai.
We are confident that the support from various parties is also a great contribution in supporting the success of the creative efforts that have been made by friends with disabilities to lead to independence. In the Agrilab program, particularly, we have produced some products
Universitas Kristen Wacana Yogyakarta begitu untuk penyempurnaan idenya, gagasannya begitu sampai akhirnya menjadi bentuk nyata
by the University of Wacana Christian University.
Dan juga juga dengan tim protestik ortotik di pusat rehabilitasi Yakum sendiri untuk mewujudkan alat-alat yang
together with the team in Yakum Rehabilitation Center.
Nah, produk-produk yang dihasilkan ini nanti harapannya juga bisa direplikasi,
which are expected to also be replicated and developed by many other parties who have similar problems or issues. Hopefully, it can later be mass-produced for it can also answer some problems experienced by many people in various places. I hope the spirit to live better is also awakened because of it. This has been one of our longings, especially in this pandemic that makes productive activities and the drop of economy. I hope the innovations can help all of us to be more productive,
punya hidup yang makin bermakna,
to be more joyful and passionate,
hidup kita bisa menjadi lebih hidup.
so that our lives can be more meaningful and quality.
Selamat mengikuti virtual expo kali ini. Semoga bermanfaat.
Enjoy the virtual expo.
Salam sehat buat kita semua.
Stay healthy for all of us.
Kami kembalikan kepada MC.
I'll hand over to the MC.
Atas sambutan dari Ibu Katarina Sari, kita
Thank you
pada sambutan
for the speech, Ibu Katarina Sari.
Ada yaitu perwakilan dari host acara ini. Kita akan mendengarkan sambutan.
The next speech is from the head of Institute of Research and Community Service, Duta Wacana Christian University, by Ibu Yatiningsih.
Terima kasih kepada Bu Stefani sebagai
Thank you, Bu Stefani, as the MC.
yang diberikan kepada kami untuk mewakili Universitas Kristen Duta Wacana untuk menyambut Bapak Ibu.
I'm representing Duta Wacana Christian University.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang terhormat, kami juga akan menyapa Ibu Direktur Pusat Rehabilitasi
To the Honorable Director of YAPUM, Bapak David Curtis from Disability Advisor, Life for the World, Engineers Without Border Australia, the representative of Purworejo District Agriculture Office, Office of Cooperative and MSMES Purworejo Regency, and for all the academicians in Duta Wacana Christian University, and for the Agrilab team in Yakum. I hope everybody is healthy. It's been an honor to work together with Yakum Rehabilitation Center. Ladies and gentlemen, the collaboration has been a series of community services involving lecturers and students in the process of making the design of inclusive products for the people with disability. It has been such an remarkable experience for all of us, because we can have more experiences by collaborating with more partners with the Agrilab team in Purworejo. We understand that we have to have flexibility and sensitivity when collaborating to create products used by the people with disabilities. With the experience, I hope that all the academicians can learn something. We can develop it for our researchers and develop it for our teaching. And to help everybody understand in the university that we should have the sensitivity to think about other people. We have to focus thinking about the products which are user-friendly oriented. I'm showing you the result of the products that we have made by the architect and design faculty of Duta Wacana Christian University. And I would like you to see how we collaborate and how we learn from it. I hope it can help improve the capacity and creativity and the modified motorcycle used to sell the products. I understand there must be something we need to improve from the program. Yes. We hope that it can be implemented in the society. Thank you. enjoy the virtual
Terima
Expo.
kasih
God bless you.
kepada Ibu Wiatiningsih atas
Thank you to
presentasinya.
Ibu Wiatiningsih.
Selanjutnya kita akan menyaksikan video
Next,
presentasi
we will
dari
watch
Generative
the
Design
video
di tahun
from the
2020
Agrilab.
yang lalu. Selamat menyaksikan.
Happy watching.
Ayam ini kan termasuk unggas yang rentan.
Chickens
Kalau
are
ayam
vulnerable
nutrisinya kurang, jadi sakit-sakitan, ayam jadi gampang
livestock.
mati.
If the nutrition is not adequate, then it will
Waktu awal
die
pandemi,
easily.
stok pakan jadi langka,
During the pandemic,
pun jadi mahal.
the stock for the feed is rare.
Peternak mengeluh kesulitan membeli pakan.
The farmers complained about
Sehingga
problem
ayam
of
dilepas
buying
supaya mencari pakan sendiri
the
di
feed.
pekarangan.
So they let go the chickens in their yard to find their own food.
Malah ayamnya banyak yang mati.
Unfortunately, many of them died because of inadequate nutrition.
Saya adalah orang tua dari anak cerebral.
I'm the parent of cerebral palsy kid.
Selain ngurus rumah tangga, saya
Besides taking care of the house, I own a small business.
buat nambah
I own a
penghasilan.
small shop to help me get more income for the family.
Dulu saya pernah coba membuat kumbung jamur.
I used to make mushroom house
Tapi
with the
karena
knowledge I got from the DPO,
cara merawat anak dan
but I had problems managing time for my family in my shop, so I stopped continuing the mushroom cultivation. Mushroom has a big potential, so the DPO planned to make it as a group effort. Unfortunately, many of the members stopped continuing cultivating the mushroom because they have problem managing time.
Kami bersama peternak ayam lain
Together with the other farmers,
dalam pelatihan Agrilab.
we start
Para
the Agrilab
peserta
training.
dibimbing untuk bisa memetakan masalah
We have to be able to map the problems
bersama-sama
and anticipate
melalui
problems
CCP.
together through the CCP workshop.
Masalah utama dalam kasus malnutrisi adalah
The
kurangnya
main
pengetahuan
problem
tentang
is because of lack of
ternak
knowledge
pengganti.
of substitute fodder.
Kita diajari budidaya maggot,
We are trained
makanan
to cultivate
pengganti.
maggot, larvae of black spice
Supaya
spider.
budidaya maggot
Black-
lebih murah dan justru
It's cheaper,
lebih bernutrisi dari pakan biasanya.
it's more nutritious.
Selain solusi pakan ternak pengganti, kami juga mengembangkan gagasan
Besides the substitute fodder or feed, we also develop
untuk peternak disabilitas. Kami
principle for people with disabilities.
dengan rolling feed dan water nipple.
We designed using the rolling feed and water nipple
Dan minum ternak lebih praktis.
so that we don't have to move here and there when feeding
Hasil pelatihan
the livestock.
Agrilab, komunitas dampingan membutuhkan pembekalan pengetahuan dan keterampilan teknis
They need training
bisa
on the knowledge and technical skills to analyze
Peran para ahli
everything they need.
adalah mendampingi proses pembuatan prototipe
We
lebih
assist
efisien, efektif,
in the making of prototype to make it more effective and efficient.
Setelah prototipe kandang jadi, inovasinya ternyata bisa juga dipakai oleh peternak yang lain.
The innovative products can also be applied for other farmers.
bolak-balik ke kumbung jamur.
Now I don't have to go back and forth to the mushroom houses.
Manual. Pelatihan ini mengajarkan kami dari merancang desain,
It helps us
alat dan bahan,
from designing, analyzing the materials, and make the prototype.
misalkan kami
So when there is a problem, we can fix it ourselves.
Saya yakin
I believe
Agrilab untuk
the Agrilab training
warga desa
can improve the capacity
warga dengan disabilitas
of the people with disabilities
sebagai petani
who becomes farmers,
sebagai program bisa untuk menjadikan desa lebih
which can be the program of the village to support the inclusivity.
DPO berhasil membuat prototip
The DPO has succeeded to make the business go on.
menggunakan prototip ini untuk
I'm using the prototype to help me market the product, the food product.
usaha DPO.
Now the DPO is also assisted in the Agrilab program. They have commitment to work together, to collaborate, and to maintain the prototype. This is an approach that focuses on two things: improving creativity and solving problems of the people with disabilities to create agricultural inclusive tools.
Terima kasih. Selanjutnya kita
Thank
akan
you.
mendengar penjelasan tentang
Next, we will listen to the explanation of Agrilab
inklusif
by
jurusan rehabilitasi Yakum.
Ibu Rita.
Ibu Rita Triharyani akan dipersilakan.
Oke, baik. Selamat sore Bapak Ibu, teman-teman
Good
sekalian.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Banyak mahasiswa ya, jadi saya bilangnya teman-teman aja ya.
I think there are many college students here.
Muda gitu. Baik, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam
Greetings to all of you.
Semoga teman-teman di sini dalam keadaan sehat.
I hope everybody is in a healthy state.
Tentunya. Baik, terima kasih untuk LPPM UKDW yang selalu.
Thank you for Duta Wacana Christian University, who is always willing to collaborate with us. It's a great opportunity for us to share in the virtual expo.
Teman-teman, kita akan sedikit mengulas tentang apa sih yang kami kerjakan dalam
I'm going to tell a bit about what I'm doing
atau Agrilab ini atau
in the program.
kami biasanya bilang ini adalah pertanian yang inklusif.
This is an inclusive agriculture. I'm sharing my screen.
Semoga sudah terlihat. Kami memulai Agrilab.
We started Agrilab in 2019.
Yang sangat menarik dan
This is an interesting collaboration
dua negara yaitu
between two countries, Cambodia and Indonesia,
kami memiliki sebuah kabupaten di Jawa
which is a district in Central Java,
yang memang
Purworejo,
setelah memiliki roadmap atau
which has got a roadmap
kabupatennya inklusif ini sangat mendukung
to be inclusive district.
program ini dan kami melaksanakan atau menerapkan Agrilab ini di Purworejo, Jawa Tengah.
We applied in that district.
Dari tahun 2019
Since 2019,
4 organisasi yang lain dari
together with the other 4 organizations,
Generative Without Borders dari Australia dan juga kami didampingi bermitra dengan Life for the World untuk melihat keinklusivitasan yang bisa diterapkan dalam
to see the inclusivity to implement in the agriculture,
CCB atau
particularly to apply the method
capacity building yang bisa membantu
of creative capacity building
yang mengikuti workshop Agrilab ini untuk bisa
to help the participants who join the training.
Kita akan melihat apa yang kami sudah lakukan selama dari tahun 2019.
We'll see what we have done since 2019.
Nah, saya mulai dengan kata desain, tidak lepas dari apa yang akan
I will start by explaining about the word design.
atau menginformasikan kepada peserta apa sih mendesain dan bagaimana sih mencari solusi supaya teman-teman di disabilitas,
This is to
lansia,
help the
serta
questions
partisipasi
of
sebagai
what is
petani
design,
juga
how to
di
design.
desainnya. Dalam desain adalah saya mengutip sebuah quote gitu ya. Desain adalah proses pengembangan sebuah solusi yang
So design refers to the process
inovatif
of
untuk mengembangkan sebuah
developing
objek yang
purposeful
fungsional
and innovative
dalam
solutions
sistem yang
to
fungsional.
create functional
Kemudian
objects
ketika
and
berdasarkan
to have the
kebutuhan
aesthetics
penggunanya yang
based on the
siapa yang
user's
akan
needs.
menggunakan ini. Nah, dari konsep desain ini kami
From the
menerapkan di
concept
dalam
design,
prinsip-prinsip inklusivitas terutama
we
untuk
apply
teman-teman
it to the
disabilitas
inclusive
di mana mereka
principles
memiliki kebutuhan tersendiri.
in
Nah,
which they have their own
sehingga kami
needs.
mengembangkan konsep desain ini menjadi konsep co-design dalam menerapkan workshop Agrilab ini di 4 kelompok yang ada di Purworejo.
We have applied it to 4 different districts in
Tujuannya
Purworejo.
adalah kami punya 4 tujuan dalam Agrilab ini. Yang pertama co-design atau desain
The first
gabungan,
goal is that
bagaimana
co-design
menyatukan sebuah desain menjadi desain
from
yang
the technological support
bisa menciptakan sebuah teknologi alat bantu untuk memungkinkan petani dengan disabilitas atau peternak
enables
dengan
people with
disabilitas
disabilities
untuk terlibat dalam
to
kegiatan
involve
pertanian
in their
berkelanjutan
agriculture
yang
choices.
lalu tujuan yang kedua adalah sebuah
The
pemberdayaan
second
penyandang
goal
disabilitas
is to
supaya mereka
empower them
mandiri untuk dapat menciptakan
to
solusi atas
independently
permasalahan yang
create
ada di masa
solutions
depan, terutama
to
di
their future
bidang
problems,
pertanian, peternakan.
particularly in the agriculture
Lalu
sector.
yang ketiga adalah peningkatan pemahaman tentang
The third
disabilitas itu
goal
sendiri
is to
dalam
increase the
upaya
understanding
peningkatan
of disabilities
inklusi di dalam desa. Kenapa
in the
desa?
inclusive approach in the
Teman-teman
village.
di sini tahu juga bahwa sekarang kebijakan dari pemerintah, kami mulai dari situ.
We know that the policy from the
Tingkat desa
government,
adalah tingkat yang basic begitu ya, dan
village is
sekarang
the
ada
basic
kebijakan
level,
dari pemerintah yang langsung turun otonominya ke area
and now
desa.
the autonomy from the central
Dana
government goes to the
dana
village.
desa, mungkin teman-teman pernah dengar dengan kata-kata dana desa. Nah, disinilah upaya kami untuk bisa memasukkan isu teman-teman
This
dengan
is
disabilitas supaya mereka
why
bisa
we put the
berpartisipasi,
issue of
mereka bisa ikut
disability
dalam
in the
pembangunan
village
desa.
sector
Nah, melalui pertanian yang otomatis berdekatan dengan
through
desa,
agricultural
inilah
sector.
kami masuk ke dalam menjadikan Agrilab salah satu upaya untuk bisa
Agrilab has been an effort
inklusivitas di desa. Lalu yang
as a
keempat
way to
adalah
create
bagaimana kita
inclusivity
bisa
in the
meningkatkan
village.
kapasitas petani di desa untuk bisa
The fourth goal
berinovasi
is to
dan
improve the
membangun
farmers'
sebuah perusahaan
capacity
melalui
to
alur desain.
innovate
Alur desain itu
and
seperti
find
apa?
solutions
Kita akan
to the
lihat
problems
bersama apa yang
through the
kita
design flow.
pelajari tentang
I'm
alur
showing you
desain.
about the flow later.
Kami melakukan di Purworejo tahun 2019 sampai 2020.
We did
Ini
the project
kemarin
since
karena pandemi,
2019
tapi
to
kami tetap
2020.
semangat dan teman-teman disabilitas dan peserta yang lain juga semangat walaupun pandemi.
We keep the spirit, although we understand that we are all in a difficult situation of the pandemic,
Kesehatannya ketat.
using the health
Siapa
protocols.
saja yang terlibat di dalam workshop
Now,
Agrilab? Kami
these are the overview of people involved in the program.
ada di Baglen, ada di Kecamatan Purworejo, ada di Kecamatan
It's grouped into 4
Butuh dan Kecamatan
in Baglen, Purworejo, Butuh, and Banyu Urip. The total number of participants are 74, 29 females, and 45 males. 65% of them are people with disabilities. This picture shows one of the activities we did in the program. Now, this is the design flow.
Kenalkan kepada peserta untuk memahami bagaimana sih caranya untuk bisa memecahkan sebuah masalah.
This is to help the participants to solve their problem.
Banyak sekali hal begitu, ide-ide kreatif.
We did many things,
Dari mereka mengidentifikasi masalah, mereka mengumpulkan
from getting the problems from the participants,
yang bisa membantu mereka untuk mengidentifikasi masalah. Lalu ketika itu
and from how they identify the problems,
supaya peserta bisa muncul ide-idenya. Nah, ide-ide
how we help the participants to create ideas.
coba, oh ternyata ada ide-ide yang terbaik yang bisa dipilih oleh mereka. setelah mereka memilih ide-ide terbaik,
and then
maka
try to
sudah
find the
semua
best
sudah
idea
mewujudkan ide tersebut ke dalam sebuah paket gitu ya atau desain kecil,
to
lalu
create the
kemudian
idea into a small
dimasukkan ke dalam
design,
sebuah prototype. Ketika
which
prototype sudah
eventually
jadi,
turns
mereka
into a
menguji
prototype.
cobakannya. Ketika uji coba sudah berhasil,
Then they
solusi
try it
sudah
on.
didapatkan. Tapi bagaimana
If it
jika tidak
works,
berhasil? Kami tetap
solution is
untuk
achieved.
kembali lagi untuk melihat
If it
bagaimana mereka
fails,
untuk bisa kreatif
we
dan
try
menemukan
to
ya
review again
ada gap
about
apa
what
nih
things we
di
need to improve.
ide-ide yang sudah mereka terapkan. Lalu kembali lagi ke uji coba. Nah, proses ini kami bagi menjadi 4 kali workshop.
The process is
Apa saja
divided into
workshopnya?
4
Mari kita lihat.
different types of workshop.
Pada target, sebelum kita ngomongin 4 workshop, Agrilab memiliki 3
About the targets, they have 3 main targets.
kami menerapkan sebuah metode yang bernama metode creative capacity building.
We applied
Tujuannya apa?
capacity building methodology.
Mau dengan metode ini, dengan CCD ini, para peserta dapat mengidentifikasikan
For the participants to identify their agricultural problems
dan juga
happened
dengan
in their
metode
group.
capacity building, para
With the
peserta
creative
bisa
capacity
menjadi
building,
aktif untuk bisa menemukan
the
solusi,
participants can be active, can be more active to find solutions,
ide-idenya apa,
to share more
bagaimana
ideas,
mengungkapkan pendapatnya,
to share their opinions, and to be more confident of
sehingga
delivering
ketika
their
semua
thoughts.
ide solusi itu sudah terkumpul, ini
So
akan
when the
menjadi
ideas
sebuah
are
solusi
gathered,
yang bisa mengubah status sosial
we
mereka
can find
dan juga bisa membantu mereka
solutions
agar mereka bisa menjadi lebih berdaya lagi.
to help them
Yang
to be
kedua adalah
more
dapat
self-reliant.
peserta dapat merancang dan membuat teknologi alat bantu dalam
The
bentuk
participants
prototype
are also
sebagai
expected
jawaban atas
to be able to
permasalahan
create the
mereka
prototype
ketika menjadi petani, menjadi peternak, atau menjadi pedagang. Lalu yang ketiga, target kami dalam Agrilab adalah
to help them do the
mampu
jobs.
berkolaborasi dengan multi stakeholder, baik dari
We also
pemerintah
expect to collaborate with other stakeholders,
creative
both
capacity
from the
building
private
ini
sectors and
memang
from the government
sudah
sectors.
dibuktikan bahwa bisa menjadi sebuah metode untuk bisa menemukan
It has been
solusi-solusi yang
proven
kreatif
that the
yang mampu
methodology
membantu
can
teman-teman
help
disabilitas,
to
lansia,
find
kelompok marginal yang lain yang memiliki banyak hambatan
ideas and
mewujudkan
solution
sebuah
to the
sistem
obstacles
desain yang inklusif
faced
dan
by
partisipatif.
the people with disabilities.
Itu 3 target yang ada di dalam Agrilab
So
lewat
those are the
metode CSD.
targets we had in the
Mari kita
program.
melihat ada 4 workshop yang kami lakukan. Workshop yang pertama adalah
Now I'm going to talk about the first workshop, creative capacity
tahun
building.
ini creative capacity building yaitu kami menggunakan berbagai macam metode, ada permainan,
We applied
ada
methods
tugas kelompok,
involving various
tujuan
games
adalah
and
bisa
activities
membangun kerja
aimed to
tim
build
dari
teamwork,
setiap kelompoknya. Mereka bisa mengenal satu sama lain, mereka bisa memahami tentang hambatan, membangun kepercayaan antar peserta,
help building trust among the
kolaborasi,
participants,
bisa berdiskusi, bisa melakukan brainstorming bersama-sama, menerima pendapat orang lain,
help building their
lalu tidak malu
confidence,
dalam mengeluarkan pendapat di setiap diri peserta. Lalu juga kami memberikan pengantar tentang apa sih desain itu,
and also
lalu
introducing
bagaimana
to
bisa
the design
membentuk sebuah
process
desain. Kadang-kadang petani-petani yang
and
kami
creative activities.
ajak kolaborasi atau menjadi peserta ini sebenarnya mereka sudah melakukan banyak hal untuk
The
bisa
farmers
menciptakan
indeed
sebuah
have
alat yang
done
kreatif gitu ya, tapi
many
nggak
creative
sadar itu
things,
sebenarnya adalah
but
alat yang kreatif.
they don't
Nah,
realize
di dalam
that
CCB ini
they have had
mereka
creative
belajar
ideas.
lebih, oh ternyata untuk
So
bisa
in this workshop,
menemukan atau untuk bisa mengeksplor masalah itu
they can explore
kemudian
more
mereka bisa bersama-sama mencari solusinya. Setelah itu,
to find the problems together with the other participants.
building di workshop yang kedua, kami
On the
memiliki
second
yang
workshop,
namanya pre-design.
we focus on pre-design.
Memahami konteks
This is to help the participants to help understanding the
di
context
alur
of the
desain,
problems.
ya, kami sudah masuk ke dalam alur desain tersebut. Kami memberikan berbagai metodologi kepada mereka, konsep gitu ya, untuk bisa mereka memetakan permasalahan.
We applied methodology for them to be able to map their
sebagai
problems.
peternak ataupun sebagai pedagang. Lalu
As
mereka
farmers,
bisa mengidentifikasi
traders,
tantangan yang mereka hadapi saat ini. Lalu
and to be able to
bisa
identify
memprioritaskan
the
tantangan mana yang
obstacles
mereka
and to prioritize which challenges they need to focus on. So there are two simple of priorities from the challenges they had to deal with. The first is to improve the accessibility of means of transportation for the users of three-wheeled motorbike to sell their food products. Previously, they had to wait for some other people who help them marketing their products. Now, the second challenge that they need to prioritize is how to help the mushroom farmers to make the watering easy.
Kemudian setelah kami explore, oh ternyata
some of them were mushroom farmers, but they stopped because they have problem watering due to their disabilities condition.
potensi dalam pertanian ke depannya. Nah, ini yang kami lakukan dalam pre-design.
This is what we did in the pre-design stage. We introduced the design. Well, for the academicians, they know and understand the knowledge of design from the books. But with the farmers here, those with disability and those with non-disability, again, we try to help them identify the problems, map the problems, and we also give them some small cases to help them find ideas in the group discussions. On top on the left, yes, they are making mango picker. They collaborated in making the instrument so that they can learn about it. The third workshop focuses on generative design. We support the participants to generate more ideas, and we help them exploring the ideas that can answer their own problems. We also support them to choose the final concept for the prototype production. Some of the idea that we have generated is first putting a display on a modified three-wheeled motorbike. This instrument is in particular to help people with disabilities in marketing their food products. The second idea came out from the participants is that the chicken farmers need instruments to help them feeding the livestock. So they have problems feeding the chickens because they always need support from other people. So they think they cannot be independent of doing this activity. So we come up with an idea so that those people with disabilities can do it more easily. We support the participants to be as creative as possible, to create a small design using boxes, used boxes, or with anything available around them. They can also use pictures to illustrate the system. This is the picture of the idea for the display on the modified three-wheeled motorbike.
Kemudian di workshop berikutnya dengan dampingan para ahli dari teman-teman LPPM UKDW
With the help of experts from Duta Wacana Christian University, the participants get more insights to create more appropriate prototype, more convenient prototype.
yang digambar sendiri oleh peserta. Mereka ingin membuat sebuah penyiraman.
The one at the bottom is the picture created by the participants.
Panen dengan baik. Lalu yang kedua, akses untuk menyiram itu bisa
This is to help them
dibantu gitu.
watering,
Disabilitas yang sensori seperti netra gitu ya, ataupun dengan pengguna alat bantu lainnya.
and this is helpful for those with visual impairment.
Workshop keempat,
In the fourth workshop, called Evaluative Design, so what we did is that we support participants to build the prototype and to test on it.
kami berkolaborasi dengan para ahli,
We collaborated with the experts from the Institute of Research and Community Service Duta Wacana Christian University
mengeksplor sehingga prototipe yang
to explore
itu tepat guna dan mudah untuk bisa dirancang, mudah
so that the prototype is effective
diimplementasikan oleh
and efficient.
teman-teman disabilitas yang lainnya. Lalu juga di dalam evaluative design kami mendukung untuk bisa membangun feedback. Kami
We also support to have
Agrilab dengan para ahli
feedbacks
supaya para ahli bisa membangun sebuah feedback untuk prototipe ini.
from the experts.
Dan juga setelah itu setelah uji coba, ketika uji coba feedbacknya ada begitu ya, kalau misalkan ada yang harus diperbaiki kami perbaiki.
The testing, the feedbacks from the prototype testing, we can eventually improve the product.
Ini adalah prototipe yang sudah dibuat ya. Ini akan
This is a sample of the prototype we have made. First is the storefront on a three-wheeled motorbike, a modified motorbike.
Kelompok ini terapkan adalah etalase pada motor modifikasi roda 3. Jadi mereka ingin membuat etalase ini supaya Bang Dali ini ya, sebagai pengguna kursi roda
Bang Dali, the user,
pangan olahan dari teman-teman
is expected to be able to sell the products using the instrument more easily because this is self-service, which means that he doesn't have to get down off the motorbike to help the buyers get the food. The total of making this instrument is about 2.5 million rupiah.
kita bahas ya supaya nanti teman-teman lebih detail lagi. Ini adalah water fogging untuk
Now the second instrument is water fogging for mushroom
pengkabutan yang hari ini kita akan
using the automatic water fogging system.
disabilitas itu ketika harus menyirami jamurnya itu mengalami hambatan
So when watering the mushroom, people with disabilities have obstacles
yang tidak jadi petani jamur lagi padahal
which make them stop being the mushroom farmers.
sehingga ini sebenarnya
In fact, the demand of mushroom
lalu yang kedua
is considered high in the region.
otomatis tadi teman-teman lihat ya di
So the automatic power button system
ada saklar otomatis yang bisa dapat diatur berapa
is applied
siramannya, jadi nggak usah bolak-balik
to help with the watering.
bumbung jamur gitu.
So they don't have to go back and forth to the mushroom houses.
Secara otomatis jadi pagi mereka
They can do it automatically by pressing on the power button.
mati sendiri gitu ya, nanti sore begitu lagi
They can also control
secara manual.
how long they will water it.
Alat ini 1,5
The total amount of making this is
buat memang agak besar supaya kami bisa
1.5 million rupiah with the length of the house at about 6 meters.
bisa memudahkan
6 meters.
teman dengan kursi roda dengan space yang lebih luas.
The third is accessible aquaponic in Butuh district. Their problem is that they lack of water. In rainy season, flood will come. In dry season, they will lack of water. So they make planting and keeping the fish in one container.
Disabilitas pengguna alat bantu ataupun yang sensorik seperti netra. Lalu juga ini adalah salah satu juga bagi mereka ketahanan pangan.
This is to help them with their food security during the pandemic, COVID-19 in particular.
Ini adalah kolaborasi dari 3 DPO yang ada di
It
Kecamatan Butuh.
is the collaboration project of 3 disability person organizations
Dan bisa memanfaatkan hasil dari accessible aquaponic ini untuk para anggota.
to help them make use of the instrument.
Pembuatannya adalah sekitar 2
The
dengan ukuran kolam
money spent for making this is 1.5 million rupiah. The last prototype is rolling feed and water nipple. This is in particular for chicken farmers. The problem is that chickens easily get sick during rainy season. And another thing is that they have problem in feeding the chicken because of their disabilities. Chicken used to be freely released in the yard. The effect is that they lack of nutrition. The chickens are lack of nutrition. So they have to experience the economic loss because the price drops. The instrument of rolling feed and water nipple is useful for the people to help them in feeding the chicken. We also train them to make maggot. This is the larvae of the black fly to be used as the substitute feed.
Ini adalah sebuah solusi untuk para peternak yang mau ayamnya.
This has been a solution for the farmers who wants to have healthier chicken. That is all that I can say about the Agrilab program.
Terima kasih Bu Rita atas
Thank you, Bu Rita,
pengantarnya terkait
for the presentation.
Saat ini kita akan melangsungkan sesi selanjutnya.
Now we are going to the next session.
Dan tempat akan saya serahkan kepada moderator yang
I will hand it to moderator,
yang juga berkontribusi sebagai tim pendamping dari Project Stall Motor
the lecturer,
kepada Bapak Dr.
the one who has contributed to the program.
MR, kami persilakan untuk memandu acara selanjutnya.
Terima kasih Stefani. Selamat siang
Bapak Gregory.
semuanya.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua.
Greetings to all of you.
Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Sebelumnya saya ingin menyapa teman-teman yang ada di Kamboja.
I would like to say hello to those in Australia, in Cambodia,
Indonesia, ini ada teman di Batam,
in London,
Bandung,
and to
dan juga
other people in other provinces.
Rekan-rekan semua, siang hari ini kita diberi kesempatan untuk bisa belajar bersama.
Today we will learn together
Program kolaborasi yang menarik
about a collaborative program
dari Pusat Rehabilitasi Yakum
between Yakum Rehabilitation Center with the Institute of Research and Community Service Dutawacana Christian University. It's a collaborative model to help
aktivitas hidup teman-teman penyandang disabilitas di Purworejo
the life activities of people with disabilities in Purworejo to face with the hard situations in the pandemic. It's a great opportunity that in such a difficult situation we have this collaboration.
Secara khusus dari siang sampai sore hari nanti saya akan memandu proses belajar kita dari pengalaman program.
I'll be the moderator
Ada
of
dua
the discussions.
program yang akan kita bahas.
There are two programs we are going to discuss.
Accessible water fogging system.
First, accessible water fogging system
Nanti akan disampaikan oleh Ibu Winta Satrika
will be presented by Ibu Winta.
Kemudian akan dibahas oleh Ibu Lestari. Sebelumnya saya akan sampaikan sedikit tentang pembahas ya, Ibu Lestari.
We'll tell a bit about Ibu Lestari.
Lestari ini seorang praktisi di bidang
Ibu Lestari is a practitioner of mushroom cultivation, graduated from Tunas Pembangunan Surakarta University. She now becomes the head of farming society in Bantul. He has great working experiences in the agriculture.
Kemudian juga kepala bagian pertanian di PT Gunung Meranti Raya Pelaibut. Serta beliau ini juga luar biasa dengan prestasinya di bidang pertanian karena tahun 2012 beliau menjadi.
She also has some many achievements in the agricultural sectors.
Juara satu tingkat Kabupaten Bantul tahun 2012 sama. Di tahun yang sama dia
as a great farmer,
untuk
he has awarded many achievements as one of the great farmers and agricultural entrepreneurs.
Sebelumnya kita akan mendengarkan secara singkat tim dari pendamping komunitas disabilitas di Purworejo untuk
We are going to listen
Bu Winta Satrika Santi. Kami persilakan
to Bu Winta about accessible fogging system.
Terima kasih sekali Pak Greg.
Thank you, Pak Greg.
Saya Winta Satrika Santi.
I'm Winta, representing the Duta Wacana team.
Sebagai bagian dari proses design thinking, teman-teman
As part of the design thinking process, our friends in Restu Abadi DPO dig out problems by empathizing at the toughest points of its members. The problem point is that mushroom farmers with visual impairment get little harvest because of the uneven watering and fungi that are easily broken because of being hit by the body while watering using a hand sprayer. The cause of the problem is a narrow mushroom house due to land limitations and a high needful humidity causing the distance between the rows of logs or mushroom planting media must be close to each other. Without vision, they will be easily lose balance so that mobility cannot be controlled perfectly. If we do not get feedback or audio from the surrounding conditions without visions, we will have difficulty in the orientation of the body's position to the environment and difficulty knowing the quality of what we have done. The conclusion of the problem found is the need for automatic and even watering of fungi. It also takes an inclusive, healthy mushroom house design and increases mushroom productivity. The alternative solution chosen are automatic water fogging system and semi-open house with sufficient sunlight access. From this video, we can see the structure of mushroom using bamboo material built in the available land, which is attached to the side of the people's houses. Mushroom logs arranged elongated for motion efficiency during harvesting. The mushroom house is equipped with a sprayer system at some point, adjusting the technical capabilities of the nozzle or vapor component. The screwing technology allows the water reservoir to be below, equipped with a small power electric water pump for easy control and cleaning. Automatic watering with a timer and hygrometer facilitates even watering of fungi and minimizing the body's contact with fungi. The smooth mist outside is spread evenly but doesn't cause the mushroom log to get too wet for a long time. Plug mist nozzles, sprayers, and flexible PVC black hoses make it easy for users with any physical ability to perform installation and maintenance independently. Bamboo materials were chosen because of the idea from the residents for several reasons. So first, bamboo is easy to find around the site. And second, the residents have skills in working on bamboo structure. Therefore, workmanship and maintenance will be more sustainable. The roasted roof is directed upright towards the road to ensure the rainwater can flow properly and doesn't interfere with the mold inside the house. Access walls with flexible netting materials can be opened from the side of the road, allowing additional access when harvesting if needed. Mushroom logs on planting media are arranged 3 maximum to reduce the risk of falling if one of the logs should be taken because it is damaged. Overall, the system is inexpensive. We can get it online, and it is an easy installation and maintenance. I hope that they can be more independent in watering according to standards of mushroom farmers with visual impairments, providing improved quality and quantity of mushroom crops. To complement the sustainability of the solution, we have Ibu Lestari who will discuss it from the point of view of successful practitioners in mushroom farming.
Makasih Bu Winta, luar biasa. Nanti akan kita lihat apakah seluar biasa itu hasilnya dari Bu Lestari. Bu Lestari, nanti kami persilahkan untuk
Ibu
membuat
Lestari,
kita bahas ini karena
you are free to give your critical thoughts about what we have done.
relatif murah, artinya terjangkau, tetapi sebentar Bu Winta, nanti kita lihat apakah memang desain
We understand that bamboo is not costly
daya produksi
and is easy to access,
dari kondisi
but is it really effective?
Mari Bu Lestari, jangan sungkan-sungkan Bu.
Bu Lestari will join us and will give her insight about it.
15 menit ya Bu waktunya untuk pembahasan.
You have 15 minutes time to present about it.
Waalaikumsalam.
Greeting to all of you. Good afternoon. I'm Lestari, the head of the farming agency. I'm happy to give insight about mushroom cultivation. I will talk about the issue in general. We're going to talk about challenges in cultivating mushroom, which farmers need to understand, and the problem in marketing the mushroom, and the efficiency of using the sprayer instrument. Okay, and we are going to focus on the oyster mushroom cultivation. Farmers need to focus and determine in cultivating the mushroom. Besides that, the mushroom house has to be clean all the time, and they also need to maintain the humidity. When harvesting, they need to make sure that the mushroom is not too late to harvest. Because if it is so, it will be hard to sell it.
Terus sampai itu biasanya secara umum petani jamur itu
Generally, mushroom farmers
manajemennya biasanya jarang diterapkan. Misalnya
have management problems.
administrasi pencatatan panen
For example, the recording of the mushroom products when harvesting,
seperti itu.
they just focus on selling it.
Misalnya panen berapa
They don't write down how many they have been able to harvest. Is it profitable or not?
Membudidayakan jamur seperti itu. Terus di samping itu juga untuk masalah pemasaran.
Yeah, for the marketing too.
Tidak usah takut dan khawatir.
The farmers do not need to worry about marketing the mushroom
Masih terbuka lebar untuk pasar.
because it is wide open for them.
Jangan takut membudidayakan untuk jamur tiram.
So there's no need to worry to market the oyster mushroom.
Ini semakin banyaknya olahan tentang jamur tiram dan semua itu membutuhkan bahan baku dari jamur tiram.
There are many foods contains this oyster mushroom, and
saya amati banyak sekali perusahaan
I observe there are companies
membuat
and small and medium
masakan itu
enterprises
yang ngetrennya itu pagi jamur
who make mushroom stocks.
Banyak sekali membutuhkan bahan baku untuk jamur tiram. Saat ini yang sudah
As the demand is high,
hasil panen itu dibeli sama perusahaan pembuat kaldu jamur itu daerah Temanggung. Dari Temanggung itu
in Temanggung there is company
petani itu sudah dibeli,
who is willing to buy
untuk membuat
this mushroom because they make it into a stock, mushroom stock.
Sekarang istilahnya untuk hasil panen sudah teratasi. Yang kemarin itu masih sering dibawa ke Jogja.
So there is no more problem in marketing the product.
Kualitasnya sangat basah, jadi akan harganya sangat.
Previously they had to bring it to Yogyakarta, which is further from that place. But now it's closer because there is one company in Temanggung near that house who is willing to take it.
Jamurnya basah. Sedangkan harganya untuk daratan tinggi kan murah sekali, agak murah. Jadi kan
the price in the highland is pretty low.
Untuk membuat olahan itu akan lebih banyak di dataran rendah. Selain itu juga untuk masalah efisiensi penggunaan alat.
For the efficiency of the auto water spraying,
sangat membantu dalam efisiensi dalam tenaga kerja dan waktu.
Really helps to save the energy.
Menggunakan alat ini dari tahun 2015.
We've been using it since 2015.
Membantu kami sebagai petani jamur.
And it helps the mushroom farmers.
Membantu dalam waktu dan tenaga. Jadi
in time and energy.
dalam musim
So we don't have to waste a lot of time and energy for spraying.
Timer, misalnya musim hujan itu nggak perlu penyiraman.
We can manage the timer. In rainy season, for example, we don't have to spend like a lot of time for watering.
Berapa lama kita harus siram,
We can manage how long we plan to water it.
Jadi untuk penyandang disabilitas memang sangat menguntungkan.
So it is really beneficial for the people with disabilities. They simply have to turn on the power button and control it. Like how long and when they need it. So the spraying in rainy season and dry season will be different because they are able to manage it. For instance, at 9 o'clock, we control to spray it for just 3 minutes, then we can do it.
musim hujan. Kalau musim hujan mungkin cukup sekali saja waktu siang hari.
This might be different from the rainy season, in which we only need one time for the spraying, because the humidity from the outside has supported
Dalam rumah jamur itu harus
the
terjaga,
mushroom
dalam
house.
kumbung jamur maksud saya itu harus terjaga kelembapannya supaya
Farmers need to make sure the humidity
dan kualitas
of
jamur
the mushroom house
sehingga petani bisa
to
mendapatkan
generate great
keuntungan dari
mushroom
budidaya
quality.
jamur itu. Nah, terus ini kumbung jamur biasa selalu terjaga. Jadi dengan adanya alat otomatis sprayer ini,
The
kumbung
auto
jamur
water
itu untuk
system
kelembapannya akan selalu terjaga.
will help maintaining the humidity,
Mempengaruhi untuk pertumbuhan jamur.
which will influence the growth of the mushroom.
Jamur itu ditanam
For the cultivation,
untuk dataran rendah,
plant it in the lowland
rendah itu cocok sekali menggunakan penyiraman
because it is
atau alat otomatis
suitable
sprayer ini karena
for applying the instrument in the lowland,
kelembapannya itu tidak sama dengan kita
because
tanam di
the
dataran tinggi.
humidity is different from those in the highland.
Halo?
Ya Bu, silahkan dilanjut Bu.
Oh iya.
Ya. Iya, ada 5 menit Bu.
Ya, terus ada juga kemarin itu dari mahasiswa itu ada yang menggunakan sensor.
Students use the sensors without timer, but using humidity sensor. But I think it doesn't suit to the oyster mushroom.
Untuk kelembapan 80%.
For the humidity, for example, should be 80%.
Dengan kelembapan 79% itu
with the humidity of 78%,
akan menyiram. Jadi
it will automatically spray
jadi untuk jamur tiram
the mushroom.
paling pas itu untuk pakai timer waktu saja.
But for oyster mushroom, it is better to use the timer,
Rubah sesuai dengan kebutuhan. Untuk
which we can change as needed.
Lalu ya, semoga dengan alat otomatis sprayer ini akan
I hope the automatic spraying instrument help people with disabilities to keep cultivating mushroom,
itu sebetulnya tidak harus ditungguin setiap hari atau
because we don't have to
tidak membuat report istilahnya untuk dalam
spend a lot of energy
otomatis sprayer
for cultivating this.
bisa disambi dengan pekerjaan yang lain. Misalnya
I mean, you can do other things while cultivating the mushroom.
bisa tetap mengerjakan pekerjaan yang lain dengan adanya alat otomatis sprayer ini. Seperti itu, jadi tetap jangan nggak nanam jamur lagi, cuma ada
Make sure
kendala
to keep the spirit alive to cultivate mushroom.
dengan adanya alat penyiraman ini jelas sangat membantu
The instrument is certainly helpful for you in cultivating the mushroom.
tetap semangat, tetap fokus, tetap
Stay focused,
dalam merawat jamur seperti menanam sayuran yang lain karena
stay passionate
tanpa perhatian khusus
in cultivating mushroom
akan hasilnya kurang maksimal.
because it needs your determination to make it work.
Menarik sekali ya, luar biasa. Ini sudah ada tanggapan Bu, tapi nanti kita tahan dulu.
Interesting, Ibu.
Karena kita akan mencoba lanjut dulu untuk
I am
yang kedua.
continuing to the second step
Tentang desain etalase motor
about the design of the storefront from the modified motorcycle.
Dari desain produk UKDW, kami persilahkan
presented by the representative from Duta Wacana Christian University.
Dulu. Ya. Oke, terima kasih Pak Greg.
Thank you Pak Greg.
Minum air putih dulu Pak.
Ya, Bapak Ibu, saudara-saudara dan rekan-rekan.
Ladies and gentlemen,
saya ingin sedikit
I would like to give an overview about my experience.
Pak Greg dan Pak Dimas
Our experience,
ini
the team experience,
bekerja bersama dengan PRY dan
to work
Agrilab
together with Yakum
dalam
Rehabilitation Center
teman-teman
in
difabel
assisting people with
atau pengguna
disabilities,
kursi roda yang kemudian
particularly those on the
memutuskan
wheelchair,
memilih
and
transportasi versi
to
sederhana
decide
gitu.
the eligible
Jadi
transportation to help them
alhamdulillah di
in
sana
their
setelah
business.
kemudian Bu Rita dan teman-teman dari PRY
After Burita in the
melakukan
team
creative capacity
did
building dan
the
kemudian
creative
masuk ke
capacity building
tahap
workshop,
desain begitu. Nah, kami masuk ke sana dan kami
we
menemukan
joined in the
beberapa
design
produk yang
stage.
kemudian sudah
We
disusun
found
oleh
unique things
teman-teman difabel di sana begitu ya. Nah, kemudian tugas kami di sana
from
adalah
the people with
to dig
disabilities.
more, jadi menggali lebih dalam
Our task
begitu,
is to
menggali
dig
lebih dalam
out more
sebetulnya apa sih kebutuhannya atau apa yang kemudian menjadi
about what is
hambatan
actually
ketika
needed
desain. Ini kan juga terkait sekali dengan hambatan-hambatan yang ada dan itu menjadi
and what
masalah bagi
obstacles they
kami.
are
Nah,
facing,
waktu itu pertama kali selain
so that we can help
mempercepat
making the appropriate
bagaimana
design.
ketika penggunaan sespan atau sidecar
We need to make sure that the modified motorcycle
Bang Dali dan teman-teman kemudian serempak menjawab begitu ya,
is useful for them.
biasanya kami kesulitan seperti tertarik begitu ya, ada
They
kesulitan untuk
used
handling dan manuver
to
begitu.
have
Karena
problems
sidecar
in
itu
handling
digerak
and
begitu
maneuvering
dan sometimes kadang-kadang kita sudah
with the
belok
modified
kanan tetapi sidecar-nya ingin lurus
three-wheeled motorbike.
seperti tertarik begitu. Nah, itu salah satu yang kemudian coba kami cermati dan itu
That
kami
has been
menemukan
one thing
beberapa permasalahan
that we notice,
teknis sebetulnya, permasalahan mekanik
that I have technical
di sistem
problems
joinnya, di
with the
sambungannya.
transportation.
Selain hanya sambungan-sambungan itu dibuat sangat rigid begitu, tetapi juga
They make it
titik
rigid.
beratnya atau center titik atau titik tengahnya itu
The central
bergeser,
point
tidak ada di tengah
moved,
sehingga itu
not in the middle.
menarik motornya
So
begitu
it
ya,
pulled
jadi
the
terlalu berat
motorbike,
seperti kita dibandul gitu ya, seperti timbangan.
means that will be too heavy.
Nah, itu terus kemudian untuk penggunanya
For the user,
kita ada posisi pengendara yang kemudian ketika transit itu mengalami kesulitan begitu ya,
they
kalau
used to have
apabila
troubles
nanti itu akan ada tempat untuk menempatkan
in the
bola,
transition
menempatkan
of
barang baru
putting
begitu.
the
Sehingga
display
kita
into the
betul-betul
motorbike.
memperhitungkan tentang mana yang kemudian harus
So we think carefully
siasati tempatnya.
about
Waktu itu
how to deal with that problem.
kita berdiskusi dan mereka menyatakan, Pak,
We had
saya
discussion
bisa
about it.
transit. Bang Dali bilang gitu ya. Bang Dali bilang saya bisa transit sehingga saya bisa ada di sepeda motor, tetapi kursi rodanya ada di samping begitu. Oke, kalau begitu kita
I can be on the motorbike, but the wheelchair is beside me, so I cannot get down of it.
Service modelnya. Penjualannya
This is a self-service business.
Hal yang kedua yang kemudian kita cermati adalah tentang
The second thing we notice
dimensi yang kemudian
is the dimension.
kalau ini ditambah lebar nanti juga akan makan jalan.
If it is widened, that it will
Nanti kalau ada
take more space on the street. If we make it higher,
garasi dia bisa
then
dan segala macam sehingga
the user will find it problem when putting it in the garage.
sisi
So we try to optimize
kemudian bisa
the left side
ditambahin gitu ya, ditambahkan beberapa part
to add more parts
gitu ya, beberapa display yang
or display
nah,
to put the storefront.
lebih dalam di situ dan kemudian kami bekerja dengan PRY.
We then collaborated with Yakum Rehabilitation Center,
bengkel begitu dan kemudian kami
putting the motorbike in the workshop.
Diskusi, dialog begitu dan kami mencoba beberapa hal begitu.
We tried some things.
Nah, ini yang paling penting menurut saya. Jadi kami membagi peran.
And we shared the roles.
Difabel mana yang kemudian memang harus membutuhkan keahlian khusus seperti
with the
welding
people with
begitu ya,
disabilities
pengelas gitu,
and with other
untuk kemudian
parties with
melakukan
specific
pekerjaan-pekerjaan
technical skills.
bubut, apa namanya, menggunakan mesin latte gitu, mesin bubut gitu. Nah ini yang kemudian kami bagi. Akhirnya kami membagi pekerjaan.
So we
Pekerjaan
share
untuk
responsibilities.
konstruksi itu kami dikerjakan di bengkel, dan untuk
For constructions, we do it in the
displaynya itu
workshop.
dikerjakan oleh teman-teman
For the
dari
display,
Purworejo begitu. Nah
people in
kemudian kita
Purworejo
bisa
are in
melihat
charge of
atau
it.
mendapatkan hasil seperti yang ada di video ini waktu itu adalah
Then at the end, we can
yang
create
dibuat untuk
this
memperlihatkan
modified 3-wheel
bagaimana pembuatan
motorcycle
ya, ini 3D yang di
with a
oleh
storefront or
Dr.
food
Satria.
display
Jadi ini memanfaatkan sisi kiri, terus
on
kemudian
it.
kami mencoba untuk
We made use of the
menempatkan
left side,
beberapa display di sebelah kiri dan
putting
depan.
the display on
Kemudian
the
juga
left side,
menguatkan beberapa konstruksi yang kemudian
strengthen the
tidak hanya di bawah
construction
saja, tapi juga di bagian tengah gitu, seperti yang dilihat
in the
baik itu yang
middle
di tengah, dan
position
itu mempunyai apa ya, joinnya adalah 1 degree gitu ya, kalau istilah
to have 1
ini
degree joint.
Pak Agus Windarto ini yang memang expert di transportasi,
Pak
itu
Agus,
akan
as the expert
menjelaskan
in
apa yang dimaksudkan
transportation, is
single joint
presenting
bagaimana
about
2
it
degree,
later.
3 degree begitu ya. Itu adalah derajat kebebasan untuk bergerak sebetulnya. Ya
That's to
mungkin
help the
demikian
users
Mbak Dede,
to
mungkin
move
nanti
more
bisa
freely.
diperjelas atau ditambahkan oleh
Yeah, I think that is all that I can say about it. Thank you, Pak Tata.
Ini
Ladies and gentlemen,
tentang modifikasi motor yang sudah didesain oleh bengkelnya, oleh perusahaan pembuatnya itu untuk stabil, tetapi kemudian dimodifikasi untuk kepentingan baru. Ini tentu akan membuat
the video
harus
is
mencapai keseimbangan baru ya.
the motorcycle
Kemudian
is modified
untuk ruang manuver, untuk keamanan dan keselamatan ini kan menjadi
to make sure
persoalan
that the user
yang
can
teknis sekali.
use
Nah,
it properly
ini
and
bagaimana ini?
conveniently.
Apakah idenya Pak Tata dan tim ini memenuhi syarat? Karena ini kan dipakai untuk di launching, artinya digunakan masih prototype, tapi apakah ini memang sudah
Talk
disangkut
about the prototype
diproduksi lebih banyak oleh teman-teman
with
di
the
Purworejo dan
experts, so we
yang
expect it
lainnya.
can be
Pembahas kita saat ini
produced
sangat luar biasa, Bapak Ibu
massively.
sekalian. Beliau adalah pemegang kurang lebih 10 paten dan
We have
industrial
one
design right.
speaker who have 10
Patennya ini Pak
patents.
Tata siap-siap ya Pak Tata ini. Pak Agus Darto ini punya
ini senior, saya takut
Pak
Pak kalau
Agus.
ini senior banget.
Beliau punya paten di bidang salah satunya otomotif karboni. Wah, jelas-jelas. Kemudian juga beberapa paten di bidang lain seperti Mass of Car Medium, kemudian Mass of Car LRT, passenger ergonomic seat dan seterusnya. Tepat sekali. Beliau adalah
So those are the patents that he has, Pak Agus Windarto,
lulusan industrial design
from the Industrial
kemudian melanjutkan
Design
program S2
Technology,
di bidang
Bandung
dan
Institute of
master
Technology.
doktor di bidang industrial design juga di Prancis. Nah, ini
Has got his doctoral degree
menyebutkan nama
on the
seorang
design from French
sekolah top di Prancis sana, terutama di bidang industrial design. Beliau
in
juga
the industrial design.
founder sekaligus direktur dari
He's also a founder and director of
dari Institut Teknologi 10 November
from Surabaya Technological Institute.
Ya, saya kira ini siang ini kita kedatangan tamu yang luar biasa.
This afternoon we have a remarkable speaker.
Bisa sesi tanya jawab dengan Pak Agus Windarto tentang ide-ide teman-teman.
And you can ask questions about the idea of the people in Purworejo whom we helped in making the modification of motorbike to make sure whether it is officially appropriate or eligible to use. So I think it's a good idea to have an insight from an expert in the industry. So Pak Agus, time is yours.
Halo Pak Agus, apakah di tempat?
Ya.
Oke.
Ya.
Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua.
Greetings to all of you.
Sore ini dan saya tadi lihat presentasi luar biasa ya.
Glad to be here.
Teman-teman UPDW, saya mungkin berapa ya 20 tahun yang lalu itu diundang Pak
That's an interesting presentation by Akum Rehabilitation Center.
Ya, 2005 ya.
I was once invited in the Tawacana Christian University in 2005. I'm so happy seeing the progress of the university.
Baik, karena waktu terbatas saya share aja langsung.
Okay,
Ini only host.
sharing my insight.
Bisa di-sharing ya nih. Tolong share screen-nya di
Hostnya tolong di
I need to make sure if I can share it or not. So host, could you help me with this?
Artinya sudah jadi co-host kok, Pak.
Oh, Pak Agus, you are the co-host, so you can share it. Pak Agus is trying to share his presentation.
Sebentar, saya share screen dulu. Kok belum kelihatan ya? Sebentar ya.
Please give me some more time.
Bisa di-share juga ke kami, Pak, ke sini.
Ya, baik, sebentar.
You can share it to me as a moderator,
Ya, Pak.
so I can share it here
Kami sabar, Pak.
Oke.
for you.
Waktunya ada, tenang aja, Pak.
Don't worry, Pak, take your time.
Bisa datang.
Because it's been an honor to have such an expert like you here, so take your time.
Ya, udah kelihatan. Udah kelihatan? Udah ya?
Ya.
Sudah, Pak. Silakan, Pak.
Ya, baik. Jadi mohon izin. Ya, saya di sini mungkin sekalian untuk sharing dengan teman-teman di desain produk ya. Jadi saya
I'm also sharing for those in design product faculty. I'm making design prototyping for motorcycle, second generation. How we can learn something from it.
Ini kalau saya karena melihat suatu produk itu nanti akan diproduksi ya.
Because I see the product as something to be massively produced. We have to understand customers' consideration. The first is brand, second price, number 3 is the design, number 4 service, 5 performance. Most of us are trapped in the performance. Design thinking process. I'm happy that everybody in the Agrilab program really understand about design thinking process. We can apply it to develop the vehicle. And we try to do market study. Like we've been doing it for 6 months. One important thing in the means of transportation is RAMS, reliability, availability, so how we can provide the components and the human resources, maintainability, and safety. So these 4 things are important in transportation design. This is the scheme of it. You have design system, operating, maintenance, technology, human resource, component.
Ya, tadi saya senang sekali bahwa ada sidecar yang didesain oleh teman-teman dari penyandang keterbatasan.
I'm happy to know the instrument used by the people with disabilities in the previous presentations. When one product is on road, we need to make sure that we have done a good testing on it. When it is on the road, we need to make sure about the legal permission. There are 2 groups for making the product. First focuses on the product, and the second focuses on the marketing. So, focusing on competitor analysis.
Ada platform yang buat platform. Tadi saya lihat kalau kita bikin sidecar tuh ada platformnya gitu. Jadi ada orang yang
Like sidecar, we need to make sure about the platform and the body shell. The other group is for the engineers. So those with mechanical, technical skills, making sure about the battery system and the prototyping. The SIP is one product by my institution, the first generation, and we are making the second generation called the mini scooter, Italian retro design. This is an amazing scooter, which can be on the road for 80 kilometers. We also plan to make the medium scooter. So the mini one is the Italian, and the medium is the transformer style design. So this is like NMAX, which is popular in our society. The third, we also developed Tricycle Logistics. From our study of sidecar, Tricycle, they don't pass the regulation. So we need to make sure about the safety to get the official permission.
Jadi kalau Bapak itu motor itu 200 kilo ya, penumpang dan sepeda motor, maka sidecar-nya yang dibuat tadi nggak boleh lebih dari 70-80 kilo, kira gitu ya.
The sidecar cannot go further than 78 kilo to make sure the sustainability, and trustworthiness to make sure that it is really safe, because it'll be on the road. My note for the side motorbike, make sure about the weight of the motorbike, which cannot be more than 900 milli.
Sehingga jadi idenya kalau tadi ada suatu kendaraan yang kira-kira bayangan saya itu kursi roda bisa naik tadi ya, tapi di atasnya ditumpukin lagi ada etalase yang bentuknya L ya.
Itu okay.
Etalasenya itu sebetulnya masuk aja ke dalam kotak yang itu tadi.
The storefront should go to the box for the wheelchair, I guess. So it doesn't burden the vehicle. It's heavy, and the volume shouldn't be too wide. 980,000.
Aspek lain tadi ya, kalau kita masuk ke namanya uji tipe ya, uji tipe itu untuk mendapatkan STNK ya, kalau di itu ada crashworthiness ya, jadi ada bagaimana
we need to make sure to get the trustworthiness, like what happens if it is hit from in front, from the side, and from the back. It is also important to have the emission test. So there are many aspects that we need to consider. For the Tricycle motorbike, this is the product which has got the official permission. Now we are working on it, on the scooter. I think that's the insight that I can share. I hope that helps you.
Teman-teman, ini pertanyaannya sudah mulai ada, tapi sekali lagi kita tahan dulu ya. Kita akan ada.
There are some questions appeared, but I'm going to hold it because I will hand over the time to Pak David to give you insight about it.
For David, the next following 5 minutes.
Pak David, you have 5 minutes to give your insight, feedback about it. Pak David, are you there?
Halo.
Hello, Pak David, are you there?
Apakah Pak David sudah di room? Halo.
Hi, Pak David. Yes, you have 5 minutes, Pak David, to share your insight and feedback.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Yes, I can say terima kasih. Selamat sore semua. Apa
Selamat
kabar?
sore semua. Apa kabar?
Really, I just want to say a big thank you to the whole team,
Saya
to
sangat
everyone
berterima kasih untuk semua tim.
from Yakum, from the
Dari
academic
Yakum.
circles, from government, from NGOs. It's just wonderful to see. I've been really
Dari semua
excited
tim.
this morning. My morning. I'm in London. It's still the morning
Saya
for
di
me.
London, jadi sekarang masih pagi.
But really, thank you so much for this wonderful expo.
Terima kasih untuk
It's
expo
the
yang luar
first, I
biasa
think,
ini.
for Agrilab to have an expo. I
Expo pada
really
program
appreciate the
Agrilab.
work
Saya
that's been
sangat
done
menghargai ini.
in Indonesia. It follows and builds on our work that we did in Cambodia very
Di
well.
Indonesia juga dilanjutkan di
And I'd like to
Kamboja.
talk a bit more about the potential future of that.
Saya
I mean,
membicarakan potensi
my
lebih di
first
masa depan
feeling really
berhubungan dengan ini.
is a big wow. I'm very wowed by today. Really super impressed.
Hal
For
ini
me,
sangat mengesankan,
inclusion
sangat
is
impresif.
something. If we don't include, we will nearly always end up excluding. We
Kalau
have to
kita
make
tidak
an effort to
melibatkan,
include.
kita selalu akan menjadi
And
eksklusif.
that principle is in our social work sector with capacity
Prinsip
development, with
tersebut
empowerment, the principles in design sector with
untuk
universal
pemberdayaan
design. It's a really strong principle.
desain
Light for the
yang
World,
adalah
we've been
prinsip yang
working on
sangat kuat
inclusion,
dalam
and
bekerja dengan inclusion.
we've been working on inclusion, especially with mainstream organizations and mainstream sectors for many
Terutama
years
dengan
now.
organisasi yang
And
berhubungan
our
dengan
work in Cambodia and in the region has followed this. We've been lucky enough to have a
dengan
wonderful
Cambodia dan
partnership
Indonesia
with
sudah melakukan ini.
Yakum
Kami
in
sangat
recent
beruntung
years.
dan merasa senang telah melakukan program ini bersama.
Agrilab really came from a small seed. It came absolutely from the
Agrilab
needs of people, from the needs of
adalah
people.
menjadi bibit dari kebutuhan
The inclusive
orang-orang
agriculture work is so
berkebutuhan
linked
khusus,
to improvement in livelihoods, to poverty reduction,
berhubungan dengan mata
increase in
pencaharian,
self-respect and self-confidence.
berhubungan dengan kepercayaan
It's
diri.
really an all-encompassing project, really, the inclusive agriculture project, of which
Dan
Agrilab is
hal tersebut
very much at the
meningkatkan
center.
pertanian sektor.
The basic principles, I mean, the principles behind the Agrilab, which I can see mirrored in
Prinsip
this
di balik
design.
ini
The principles really we have looking at equalizing power
adalah
relations.
kita harus melihat hubungan yang sejajar.
The whole idea around democratic practices as well. The whole system is
Mempraktikkan
democratic.
demokratis yang baik antar kita
We're looking at situation-based actions. So actions-based action
dan
at the
melihat
situation of
situasi
people themselves, their
menggunakan
user
aksi,
point. Mutual learning, so how we learn between sectors and
belajar
between
satu sama
experts,
lain
between
dari para
communities.
ahli, dari komunitas,
The other principles around
dan dari
empathy,
pihak-pihak yang lain,
around inclusion,
dan
and around
meningkatkan empati pada inklusivitas
person-centered design, not so much product-centered, but really
dalam produk
person-centered
desain tersebut.
design. And of course, safety and social empowerment as well are
Dan
principles behind.
pemberdayaan sosial
I think
yang berarti
the whole notion of universal design, where
saya
design
pikir
is accessible for everybody.
desain ini memang perlu
We're
menjadi
looking at
aksesibel untuk semuanya.
design and composition of an environment.
Desain dan komposisi dari lingkungan yang ada yang mendukung,
And the environment so that it can be accessed, understood and used
sehingga bisa
by everyone.
diakses, bisa dipahami, bisa digunakan oleh semua orang.
Really designed for all.
Ini adalah desain untuk semua,
all people regardless of age, sex,
untuk
disability,
semua orang tanpa
and any
membedakan
vulnerability
umur,
should be able to
jenis
access.
kelamin,
That's our
atau
basic
perbedaan
principle.
apapun.
And really, universal design is, for me, just good design.
Dan desain ini bagi saya adalah desain yang baik untuk semuanya.
I loved seeing the presentations today. I was
Saya
really
sangat senang melihat presentasi yang ditampilkan tadi.
and I was struck by one of the presentations, one of the slides that Pak Agus shared on the
Dan
design thinking
saya sangat
process.
senang melihat salah satu slide dari Pak Agus.
I really see that mirrored in the human-centered design process and in the capacity development process.
Ada humanity dalam penciptaan proses desain tersebut.
there's a great synergy, and it's really fantastic to see our
Ini adalah energi
sectors
yang luar
coming
biasa dari
together.
semua sektor yang bekerja sama.
I think, as Rita said earlier on, empowering
Seperti yang saya
people
sampaikan sebelumnya,
with
ini adalah
disabilities
memberdayakan orang-orang dengan
to create
ketidakmampuan
solutions for their own challenge, for their own practice,
untuk menemukan solusi pada masalah mereka.
is really the key. And I've been so excited not just to see the products. The products are fantastic. They will change lives. They'll improve livelihoods.
Dan saya yakin produk ini akan mengubah hidup mereka.
And they will change lives. But not only the products, but also
bukan hanya produknya,
the other components that we look at, like the
tapi
increasing
juga
people's confidence to design.
Komponen yang dipakai ini meningkatkan rasa percaya diri,
self-respect, and respect from others in being
dan rasa
participants of a
saling
design
menghargai
process.
satu sama lain.
The empowering process, being leaders of their own change.
Memberdayakan semua pihak menjadi pemimpin atas diri mereka sendiri.
All of these things I found really exciting today, and I think finally I would like to say the beauty that I see from working between sectors.
Saya melihat keindahan dari kolaborasi antar semua sektor yang terlibat.
The intersectoral collaboration, often in the social field, we don't reach out to designers and to technical experts, and sometimes technical experts don't reach out to social. And I think coming together is a really beautiful and very important component of the Agrilab program.
Untuk program Agrilab ini.
I'm so thrilled to see the developments in Indonesia, and I really take my hat off to you, to the work that you've done. It's great to see the progress, and I think from our side we have already presented Agrilab in Rome to the Institute
Kita juga punya program
for Agricultural Development with ILO. And we really want to try to take the Agrilab experience further. So we're very happy to collect good examples from Cambodia, from Indonesia, and create some kind of community of practice, a community of experts and of users to really try to progress the Agrilab. So I think we can say the future of Agrilab is very bright.
Masa depan Agrilab sangat luar biasa.
Maybe it's so bright we have to wear the sunglasses, right?
Yeah. Kita harus memakai kacamata untuk benar-benar bisa melihat ini.
Okay, thank you very much everyone. Really wonderful day, really wonderful day. So thank you.
Terima kasih. Congratulations.
Terima kasih.
Thank you to remind us about the notion about universal design. It's a must for us, and also the collaborative work with amongst the academics community, disabled people community, and also donors will be the bright future. I do hope that this program will be continued. Yes. Okay.
So I hope he can continue with the programs. Thank you for all participants for the patience. Before going into the question and answer session, we are going to have another insight from one of lecturer in Duta Wacana Christian University, Ibu Anik Prasetyaningsih. You have 5 minutes to give you insight about the masterpiece we have done. We see it from the perspective of biotechnology, as you are the expert on it. The room is yours, Ibu.
Terima kasih, Pak. Mas Penta, slide-nya apakah bisa di-share? Mas Penta?
She's trying to share the screen. Please wait.
Oke, saya share sendiri saja ya.
sudah bisa kelihatan.
Sudah ya.
Sudah, silakan.
Ya, Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati yang ada di rumah.
Dear ladies and
Para
gentlemen,
mahasiswa ya, ini karena para mahasiswa juga cukup banyak dari berbagai fakultas gitu, termasuk juga anak-anak yang dari Fakultas Bioteknologi. Selamat sore. Jadi ini waktu saya hanya 5 menit.
good afternoon Indonesian time.
Ngebut Pak dengan
I'll try to keep it 5 minutes in presenting about it.
Tadi Bu Lestari sudah menyampaikan cukup
Ibu
banyak.
Lestari has presented the details, so I'm not going to spend more time to talk about the cultivation, but I will talk about it from a different point of view. I'm a lecturer in the biotechnology faculty. Since 1996, I've been dealing with mushroom.
Mudah-mudahan teman satu angkatan saya pada saat pelatihan pertama kali di Dinas Pertanian
I know Ibu Lestari from my first training about mushroom cultivation.
Mentornya yang dari Taiwan ya, mudah-mudahan harapannya begitu.
There was a mentor from Taiwan, I remember back then.
Menyampaikan tentang review yang sudah
I'm presenting about the
kita buat ya, karena di awal sendiri saya
review of what we have done.
di dalamnya. Tapi sebelum itu ada beberapa hal yang mungkin
But before that, I would like to present some other things to strengthen the point that Ibu Lestari has conveyed. So in mushroom cultivation, it's not just cultivating and trying to get the best result, but from the ecological sector, we are concerned. We put a high concern about environment. This is a cycle of mushroom cultivations. So, for example, we have the plant seed, the waste, the hay or the bran is used as the media for cultivating mushroom, and then cultivating it, harvesting, and then the waste is processed for cultivating worm, because all this time usually waste has been an issue. So we can actually make use of it. For example, for furniture materials, like the brick, for building a house.
Kalau kemudian dipakai sebagai tadi media budidaya cacing atau casting, nah ini kemudian bisa dipakai untuk pupuk tanaman. Jadi itu
We can also use it for the plant fertilizers.
Tidak banyak atau tidak ada limbah yang tersisa.
So basically there is no left waste of it.
Nah yang lain jamur ini di alam dan beberapa yang sudah ditemukan itu mereka juga bisa menghasilkan pestisida alami dan obat-obatan.
They can also produce natural pesticides.
Dan kami beberapa tahun yang lalu pernah melakukan eksplorasi di Kaliurang dan menemukan
We did exploration about it and found 250 kinds of mushroom which is tested to be some other useful things. It also helps the nature to fertilize the land. So the benefit of it is huge. Seeing from the structure, which has been our daily topic, the form is just like this.
Yang paling banyak dilakukan adalah dengan cara membudidayakan bagian dari tubuh buahnya ini. Jadi
we cultivate the part of the fruit.
Pada saat proses pembentukan benang-benangnya dan dia menumbuhkan badan buahnya ini atau yang biasa kita kenal dengan jamurnya itu ya, itu memiliki kondisi yang berbeda-beda.
The fungi has different conditions. So we need to accommodate the fertile land to produce good mushroom. There are three necessary things for the growth of mushroom. The first is the supportive environment to make the mushroom house, and then the media, and then the seeds. For media and seeds, we can buy it. We can just buy it for those people who have the business on this.
Dari tim Agrilab yang khusus di jamur ini dari teman-teman dari UKDW ini saya rasa sudah membuat cukup bagus.
I think the theme has made good mushroom growth and house. One important thing in growing mushroom is the temperature and humidity of the environment.
Kondisi ini yang kemudian ya saya lihat teman-teman yang dari yang sudah mendesain ini mencoba membuat
I think the team who has designed the mushroom house has considered this temperature and humidity. The second important thing is the environment lighting. In the beginning of the growth, it doesn't need a high lighting, but then we need more lighting in the growth. Then the third important thing is the air circulations. We need to make sure to have adequate oxygen to support the growth of the mushroom.
Saya coba melihat nanti dari review rumah jamur yang sudah.
I will see it from the mushroom house that has been designed by the team. If we see it from here, from the theory and the actual conditions, the growth of the tissue is different. The CO2 should be high to grow the mushroom tissue, and the temperature should be adequate. Lighting at this time doesn't need to be really bright, but on the next phase, on the reproductive phase, the oxygen should be high. And so the light should be adequate to grow the body parts of the mushroom. The CO2, on the other hand, should be lowered. For the mushroom houses, there are some things we need to keep in mind. The mushroom house doesn't have to face to the direct sun heat because it will ruin the growth. And air circulation should be good. Air humidity should also be good, around 80 to 95%, with the temperature around 20 to 27 degrees. Make sure also it should be healthy, it should be clean, and far away from the coop or cages. The first review from the design that the team has made, there are some things I would like to highlight. First, the environment around the mushroom house is clean. So as you can see in the picture, it is not close from the coop or the cages, means that the environment is clean. The surface uses brick, for it is cleaner compared to the soil base, to using the soil based.
Sehingga penggunaan alas bataku ini cukup baik. Kemudian saya lihat dari sisi kapasitas itu
Seeing from the capacity, it is also good, appropriate with the research that has previously been done. The size is 2.5 times 6 meters, which can accommodate 420 to 500 backlog, meaning that they have good air circulation. The building is also proper with side door, so the movement of the people from going in and going out will not bother the mushroom growth. And the roof also helps to create good air circulation. The second review, there are the three things I'd like to point out. First is that the shelves and the placing of the mushroom in the shelves is considered efficient.
masalah pada tumpukan di atasnya. Karena pada beberapa petani seringkali tumpukannya cukup tinggi untuk meningkatkan kapasitas yang bisa ditampung oleh rumah jamur itu. Namun
the distance among shelves is appropriate, so it gives flexibility for people to move when maintaining the mushroom and maintaining the air circulation.
Cukup leluasa juga bagi teman-teman yang disabilitas ya, supaya tidak nyenggol kiri kanan, itu juga cukup baik. Kemudian kalau dilihat kubung cukup terang.
The mushroom house is also bright enough, although sun heat doesn't directly heat to the mushroom. So this is good. The third review highlights 3 points. So we see the spray here. It avoids water to come into the backlog. It's great to design it this way. So the water sprayed from above will not get into the inside of the mushroom. Next is the device to detect humidity and temperature. It's well installed, and this is important to make sure the growth of the mushroom. We need to make sure that we can manage the humidity and the temperature, the air temperature.
Menjadi salah satu juga bagian yang bisa mengatur dari spraynya ini juga cukup bagus. Jadi kalau saya amati dari spraynya yang ada ini.
So if I see it from the spray, I consider it as a good product. The fourth review is about the paranet. The air circulation is good. The light is good. But it may consume a lot of water, particularly during the dry season. Because of the open locations, so evaporation goes faster. So I think we can improve it to anticipate the problem I have mentioned before.
Itu minimal bisa menjaga kelembapannya sekaligus juga bisa mengurangi air. Karena pada beberapa lokasi tertentu kalau budidaya jamur itu salah satu persoalan mereka adalah air yang sangat kurang.
In some locations, the issue is about the lack of water.
Ini juga harus diperhatikan karena salah satu yang menyebabkan
We also need to
kerusakan pada jamur
make sure about the holes in the paranet to keep it big enough.
ini memang seringkali keluar masuk gitu ya di
Sorry, if the holes in the paranet is big enough for insects to come in and out, that will bother the growth of the mushroom.
kita menggunakan paranet pun juga harus diperhatikan apakah lalat-lalat yang
So we need to make sure that insects will not get into the house.
Karena kalau lalat itu bisa masuk, maka kemungkinan serangan dari lalat ini akan cukup mengganggu pada tani jamurnya. Nah, kemudian yang terakhir adalah bahwa
the last thing to review
atau kubung yang seperti ini
is that this kind of mushroom house is appropriate particularly for the oyster mushroom. So I think we need to develop to apply the similar mushroom house for different kinds of mushroom.
Kalau kita menggunakan paranet, ini kadang-kadang memang agak sulit pertumbuhannya untuk bisa tumbuh dengan baik. Nah, jadi dari sana kesimpulannya adalah bahwa rumah
So what I can conclude about the design is that it has been well designed, but yeah, for sure it needs some improvement to make sure that other kinds of mushroom can be cultivated. And we also need to make sure about the water efficiency.
Oke, terima kasih ya Bu Ani.
Thank you, Ibu Ani, for the insight. Now we are going to the discussion.
Dua pertanyaan, satu pertanyaan untuk rumah.
I'll open for two questions.
Untuk program etalase tadi. Etalase
about the storefront design.
Kami buka dulu dari teman-teman yang online. Kami persilakan kalau ada yang mau bertanya langsung.
Feel free to ask questions.
Mic-nya biar disampaikan. Sebutkan nama dari mana.
Mention your name and where you are from. And make sure to be to the point.
Apakah ada? Kalau tidak ada berarti sangat paham semua.
Okay. It seems that everybody has understood it well. Is there any question?
Sedang mengikuti secara daring.
For anyone seeing it online, do you have any question for all of us?
Okay, kalau tidak ada, ini saya
okay.
Baca dari
If there is no question, then I will read questions in the chat feature.
Ini yang sebentar dari Yonatan Denny. Ini bertanya tentang rumah jamur.
Okay, one question about mushroom house. Can we make use of the rainy water?
Terlihat tadi pertemuan dua atap dapat digunakan untuk menangkap air hujan. Karena dia melihat itu.
Can we accommodate the rainy water in the mushroom house?
PDAM dan sumber air hanya dari PDAM. Ini mungkin Bu.
And we might have problem with the water source. So how can we deal with that? So the question is it possible to use the water from the raining? What is the plus minuses of using it?
Halo, masih di mute Bu, silakan dibuka dulu mic-nya.
Please turn on your mic.
Ini akan saya jawab. Untuk pertumbuhan jamur, untuk penyiraman
for mushroom growth, it is possible to use the water from the rain. I use the water from the well. It also has some water from the rain, right? It is possible and I had no problem. So I think for the watering, it is possible. For the dry season, you can use the water from the provided by the government. We have no water from the well, so we use the water from the local government. And I think there is no problem on that.
Kemarin kami menambahkan itu Bu Lestari, filter air itu
Oh.
ada
We can also add filter put in the water pump to help.
Ya, kemungkinan karena kadar asam dari air hujan kita
So
tinggi, jadi mungkin
the acid level of water from the rain is pretty high. Will that bother the growth of the mushroom?
Di media jamurnya itu sudah kita untuk tingkat kebasahan kita sudah bisa
For the wet level,
kita sudah bisa cukupin untuk di media jamurnya di kompos itu kan sudah
we can
kita tambahkan kapur
equip it
supaya
from the compost.
tidak asam.
Oke. Berarti sudah solusinya jadi locknya ya.
So we've got the solution from the lock.
Selanjutnya masih saya buka lagi, apakah ada pertanyaan secara daring?
Okay, I'm offering another question from the online participants. Feel free to ask.
Oke, kalau tidak ada nih saya lanjut.
Okay, if there is no other question, then I will give another question from the chat here.
Untuk Bu Lestari atau mungkin juga Bu Winta ini tim. Apakah sudah direplikasi untuk kelompok petani
product replicated already for people with the elderly, those people with disability? Is it elderly friendly or not?
Kalau saya dulu Ibu ya Lestari ya, karena kemarin bikin prototipe-nya. Jadi ini sistem pneumatic ini terus dengan selang PVC itu ya, itu
The
gampang
system with the PVC pipe
nggak banyak gitu ya, karena kita hanya memotong
may take only 5 minutes.
digunting dengan tidak berat, lalu tinggal
We just need to cut
sprayer nozzle-nya itu hanya di plug gitu.
sprayer nozzle. Try to plug in the
Dipasangkan ke cagaknya atau
nozzle
penyangganya dengan
to the holder.
atau apapun. Jadi sangat-sangat minim energi atau usaha.
I think this is simple.
Saya rasa itu sangat
It's not time and energy consuming. So yeah, it is appropriate for the elderly, even those with disabilities.
Oke. Ini saya lanjutkan untuk yang rumah jamur, Mas, ini dari Timothy Saputra.
Okay, another question.
Ingin bertanya untuk rumah jamur, apakah dengan adanya penerapan peningkatan budidaya ini juga mempengaruhi kualitas jamur yang dihasilkan? Ya, apakah baik atau buruk gitu
What
ya?
about the quality of the mushroom with this system? Is it good?
Dengan peningkatan tersebut, apakah mempengaruhi harga pasaran dari jamur?
And does it influence to the price?
Peningkatan ini hanya berfokus untuk mempermudah budidaya.
Or it just focuses on, growing the mushroom, fasten the harvesting.
Monggo Bu Winta atau Bu Lestari. Bu Lestari silakan.
Bu Lestari, time is yours to answer.
Harga atau produktivitas, saya kira
For price,
untuk masalah harga itu tidak berpengaruh seperti itu, dan
it doesn't affect the price.
mempermudah istilahnya pemelihararan.
Basically, the instrument also try to simplify the watering system, so it won't bother the quality, it won't also influence to the price.
Oke, Winta mungkin ada tambahan tentang kualitas atau
Do you have any additional insight to answer this question, Ibu?
testimoni Bu Rita mungkin nambahkan testimoni dari rekan-rekan di Purworejo kalau nggak salah.
Ya, untuk
Do you want to
informasi
give a testimony, Ibu Rita?
jamur lewat program desain ini sudah menghasilkan panen berapa kali ya? Jadi kalau dibilang ini cukup berhasil, saya kira sudah.
Okay, if it is considered successful, how many times have the people harvested the mushroom? For harvesting, every day we can harvest it. It can reach 6 kilos in a day, or at least 2 kilos in a day.
Ini modalnya berapa Bu untuk bikin rumah jamur ini?
How much we need to spend to make this instrument?
Dari hasil panennya itu kira-kira keuntungannya bagaimana? Apakah
And what about the profit?
berapa lama? bisa balik modal karena ini kayaknya menarik untuk teman-teman
Can it
misalnya
accommodate
untuk
the money we have spent before?
metode atau model yang sama.
Ya, ini juga sebagai salah satu pembelajaran untuk DPO ya teman-teman.
Yeah,
Jadi
this
teman-teman di DPO di Purworejo di Kecamatan Purworejo ini memang dari dulu memang sudah memfokuskan
so the people in
bisnisnya
Purworejo has
yang
focused
dikelola bersama-sama di
the
bidang
business,
kumur.
organized
Jadi
together
di awal memang
with
sudah
other
punya kumbung,
DPO.
tapi kumbungnya kumbung kecil begitu.
It used to be a small mushroom house.
Keseluruhannya restorasi kumbung menjadi
So
kumbung besar.
we
Kalau
spent,
alat yang kami informasikan alat spray
and now it
sekitar
becomes
1,5
big.
juta.
We spent 1.5 million rupiah
Kalau untuk
for 6 meters
dan
wide.
lainnya sekitar karena ini juga partisipatif. Nah ini salah satu keunikan Agrilab.
The uniqueness of Agrilab program is that the program is participatory.
Lebih murah ya.
Iya,
So the materials, the instruments are from the participants.
Bambu, lalu juga
So some donate bamboo,
mengeksplor mereka siapa yang
some
bisa
others
bantu
contribute other thing.
kami hanya stimulan saja, bahkan buat backlognya itu kami
So it
hanya
doesn't cost a lot.
beli bahannya Bu Lestari, jadi bahan mentahnya saja.
So for the backlog, we just bought the raw materials
500 backlog tersebut.
and we made 500 backlog.
Ini ada pertanyaan menarik dari Pak Yoga.
That is another interesting question
Mungkin Bu Lestari atau
from Pak Yoga.
Aquaponics bisa menjawab tentang ancaman hama untuk jamur.
What about the pest
Ini banyak sekali diserang.
threat? How can we anticipate that?
Bagaimana hama apa yang biasanya sering menyerang?
What kind of pest that attacks the mushroom cultivation and how to deal with that?
Bu Lestari, ya.
Ya,
Silakan Bu.
Ya, Bu Lestari.
Untuk masalah hama, memang
For the pest,
di dalam budidaya jamur sering ada.
yeah, it often occurs in mushroom cultivation.
Kepik, berupa kepik. Kepik itu bisa nelur dan telurnya itu
There are some insects that can lay eggs.
beberapa hari dia bisa netas.
The number is a lot. It can stay there in the house. And then it turns to larvae, which bother the backlog. Because it eats the nutrients which will bring disadvantages to the growth of the mushroom.
Jamur itu akan putus ya kan karena terganggu sama larva yang dia mau makan media jamur.
The growth of the mushroom is distracted by the pest.
Hama kepik itu akan cepat sekali untuk populasinya. Salah satunya kita harus jaga kebersihan kandang.
The way to anticipate this is we need to make sure that the mushroom house is clean. And if the pest has been around everywhere, we need to do the spraying. Using organic pesticide. I suggest all the farmers to spray if the level of the pest is above average. So I think that's what we can do.
Baik, ada tambahan mungkin dari Bu Ani.
Is there any additional information?
Menambahkan, kalau tadi dari sisi kualitas, saya rasa dengan rumah jamur yang dibuat
From the quality, I think the houses, the mushroom houses made by the team is good. So I can see it from the harvesting number.
Hanya mungkin perlu dilihat juga ya.
But when it also to consider the total number of the backlogs, 0.5 kilos for each backlog. It can even reach 0.6 kilos for each backlog.
Kalau untuk di dataran tinggi bisa.
For the highland, yes, it is possible.
Kurang lebih
But for the one in the lowland, it probably just 0.4 kilos for one backlog. Yeah, I think we need to consider that how many backlogs and how many mushroom we can harvest from it.
Oke. Mungkin kalau perlu malah nanti menghitung berapa airnya itu ya supaya bisa efisien.
It is also possible to measure the water.
Saya jadi paham kalau rumah jamur sebaiknya agak jauh dari kandang karena ada potensi lalat segala macam.
I see. Now I understand why the mushroom house should be away from the cage, because we need to anticipate fly coming into the house. So how to anticipate this from happening? Because some people might have narrow land to build the house.
Ya, kalau memang berdekatan, kita pakai
If it is
jangan pakai
close
paling enggak
from the cage,
dari gedek, dari bambu.
try not to use paranet.
Bisa untuk mengendalikan hama masuk ke rumah
Use the
jamur.
roof from bamboo.
Lubang-lubang istilah untuk sirkulasi, tetap kita kasih kasa yang
And make sure that the circulation holes should be covered with something to anticipate insects from coming into the mushroom house.
Ya, Bu Ani mungkin bisa menambahkan.
Bu Ani, do you want to add something?
Saya rasa mungkin sama, Pak. Jadi
Yeah, I think I have similar idea.
itu kan salah satu persoalan memang nanti hama yang masuk. Nah, karena itu memang ukuran paranet, kalaupun menggunakan paranet harus
So I think that the size should be considered carefully.
Kemudian untuk yang pestisida alami
and the natural pesticide.
Mahasiswa kami ini juga sudah banyak yang penelitian terkait dengan pestisida alami yang digunakan untuk jamur. Karena kalau sudah menjadi jamur kita tidak bisa semprot dengan pestisida ya Bu Lestarinya.
For mushroom cultivation, because we cannot use pesticides. So the only possible option we have is to use the organic pesticide. Okay, thank you Ibu for the insight. I think we are moving to next question from Pak Tata, from Ibu Berta. From for the modified motorbike, is it possible to use the etiquette?
Pak Agus mungkin bisa. Halo Pak Agus masih di. Oh ya.
Ya, silakan. Baik, Bu Berta. Jadi sebetulnya kami sedang bekerja sama nih dengan Kementerian Perhubungan.
We are working together with the Ministry of Transportation about pedigast. I think this is dangerous in terms of security. This is not safe at all. But it shouldn't be heavy. It shouldn't be too big. So I suggest to keep the standard, and I think we don't need to modify it with pedigast.
Itu tadi. Jadi tetap saja saya kira solusinya itu, tapi coba digunakan.
So I think the motorcycle should be flexible. It can be used for people without disabilities, and if those with disabilities need to use it, we can just install it. And make sure to make it as simple as possible, as safe as possible, as practical as possible. And the structure should be connected. One of the structures should be connected to the back part, the left side. With the 2 points working together, they will have no more problem with maneuvering or turning here and there.
mungkin Pak Tata juga nambah juga. Bagaimana dengan perizinan? Karena tadi Pak
What about with the legal permission?
Tentang license ya, artinya
with the license?
izin untuk karena kalau off-road mungkin bisa ya di sawah. Ya. Kalau on-road ini yang menjadi masalah. Nah, bagaimana dengan
with on-road?
yang terbatas?
So what about with these people? They have limitations. How can we deal with the license? So the solution is using the sidecar. The license is still motorbike.
Ketika nanti dijadiin beca, itu sebetulnya udah nggak bisa, udah tricycle.
We cannot use it as a pedicab because the license is different. So we need to make sure that it functions still as a motorbike. For using it in the village, I think it's the rule is not as strict as how it is applied in the city. Motorbike with a sidecar is possible. As long as we maintain the width, the width, and the size, and make sure it is not heavy, it is practical. It doesn't break the standard. The last question. Sorry, I would like to add.
Menambahkan tadi yang menarik yang ditanyakan oleh Bu Berta dan tanggapan dari Pak Agus. Jadi pertanyaannya waktu itu sebetulnya menggelitik. Saya bertanya gini Pak Agus, apakah yang dengan sambungan mereka itu kan mati gitu ya. Jadi sepeda motornya dan sespanya sambungan mati. Saya itu hanya bertanya, apakah kemudian sepeda motornya pernah diservis?
My question is the motorbike regularly serviced? Oh. Now that is the problem. They don't really regularly maintain the motorbike when it is connected with a sidecar. So I think we need to make sure that the maintenance is well kept.
Nah itu mereka keberatan kalau kemudian ada sepeda motor dengan sespan terus kemudian.
Yeah, the thing is some workshops mind to repair, to do some service with motorbike using the sidecar. So I think we need to think about this issue.
Jadi saya kebenaran saya punya roll and fit ya, saya bikin itu sidecar sendiri.
By the way, I have the roll fit, I have the sidecar. Following the tutorials from YouTube. The connection can be released, so it means that the motorcycle can function as a motorcycle. But it can be joined easily, it can be connected easily. So there are a lot of information about it on YouTube, you can search yourself.
Iya, terima kasih Pak Agus tadi
Thank you Pak Agus for the insight.
Kami masih juga dalam tahap selalu uji coba begitu
because we are in the testing stage of this walking storefront.
sudah dipakai saat ini itu impactnya besar sekali.
The impact is used after it is applied.
Kesulitannya adalah selain tadi
One of the difficulty is the maintenance. Because even in the famous dealers, it's not possible to accommodate this problem, this issue. They mind to do maintenance to the motorcycle with a sidecar.
Untuk modifikasi saspan begini, khususnya untuk etalase itu masih ada PR ketika orang disabilitasnya mau menurunkan etalasenya, Pak. Jadi
yeah, we also have another issue that the people with disability have problems to separate the sidecar.
Interlocknya itu bisa karena penggunanya ini kebetulan adalah cerebral palsy yang punya impairment.
The user is cerebral palsy with impairments on the hand power. So yeah, we have concern on that too.
etalase itu supaya bisa dipakai seperti biasanya.
So that these people with
Masih kami
disabilities
uji cobakan terus
can move
caranya gitu.
the car site
Bisa
more easily. So I think we still need sports and help for this issue so they can still keep selling their product using this instrument.
Jadi saya malah di kesempatan ini kami ini sedang menyiapkan sebuah masterclass untuk
Preparing a master class for design, including mobility, tricycle.
ingin mengundang tadi Pak Kris ngechat saya.
So yeah, I want to invite you in the next months, few months ahead.
Karena yang ngajar ini luar biasa. Kami mendatangkan alumni kami yang sudah sukses di.
We'll invite our alumni who have been successful in the automotive industry, the world class level. So I'm going to invite you to this master class. So you can get support, more support and more insight. We can make a case study also for the tricycle, with a sidecar with people with disabilities. I think this is interesting. I hope we don't end it here. I hope we can continue making similar projects in the future. I truly appreciate what you all have done wholeheartedly. This is helpful for the society. Thanks to Burita.
Kita kembangkan bukan hanya ini ya, banyak nih produk yang bisa kita kembangkan bersama.
Yeah. We can develop more products in the future. Yeah. Burita is an expert in making assignment designs. Easy, inexpensive, and practical.
Mungkin ada beberapa poin yang bisa jadikan closing statement dari.
There are some points for the closing statement.
Sebagai pembahas, ini kan inisiasi kita Pak, kolaborasi dengan teman-teman Yakum dan komunitas. Jadi desain itu bukan dari kami Pak, dari.
The design is not from us.
BPO.
This is from the disability person organization. We just assist in the technical support. But yeah, this has been their dream through the up and down during the program. I think that is one mission that we try to accomplish. Is that I think we should think about creating vehicles used by the people with disabilities.
Ya ini pesan ya, sebagai moderator juga jadi tim juga bahwa produksi otomotif kita tuh masih
the automotive productions so far doesn't accommodate the need of the people with disabilities. So I think we need to think about creating such innovation which are safe, practical, and not costly. So yeah, I think in the next future we can deal with that. Do you have any closing statement, Pak Agus? I'm happy and I thank you, and I am open for collaboration. I have been collaborating with 25 universities, both in and outside the country. And we don't have something like this. We have generated a lot of products, but we have never thought something like this before.
Senang sekali kalau ada teman-teman UKDW yang fokus.
So yeah, I'm happy that people in Duta Wacana Christian University focuses on this. This is interesting. Keep doing it. Yeah, for sure. We need to collaborate with Yakum. Yes, Bu Lestari, closing statement, please.
Ibu Lestari masih?
Ya.
Ya, silakan.
Ya, halo.
Ya, silakan Bu.
Saya mengucapkan terima kasih sudah dikasih.
I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to share about mushroom cultivation. I hope it is useful, particularly for those with disabilities and focus on the agricultural business. But the next opportunity, I welcome everybody from Purworejo DPO to come to see and to learn together with me about mushroom cultivation in my place. So I will help you to make sure how to keep the mushroom to grow, because the potential for mushroom is huge. The market is wide open too. Thank you, Ibu.
Sebelumnya ini ada statement bagus untuk mewakili teman-teman dari
There's a statement to represent the team in Duta Wacana Christian University.
Terima kasih untuk kebersamaan.
That's interesting statement ya Pak Tata, looks like Indonesian celebrity.
Walaupun dengan visual ya. Dan
thank you for all the presenters.
Kembalikan ke room, kami kembalikan ke Bu.
I will hand over to Ibu Stephanie as the MC. Thank you Bapak Greg as the moderator. Yeah, it boosts collaboration among stakeholders. Thank you also for the presenters from both Duta Wacana Christian University and Yakum Rehabilitation Center. Now we are almost at the end of the event. Yeah, for your information, the e-certificates have been distributed through the Google form.
Kemudian kembali ke sesi kuis, saya akan memberikan 5 pertanyaan yang masing-masing berhadiah. 1, buku menarik persembahan LPPM Universitas.
Okay, for your information, Pak David, they are having quizzes to get our prizes.
Nilai total 50.000 di Cafe Capable yang dipersembahkan oleh Pusat Rehabilitasi Yakum. Jadi total akan ada 5 buku yang masing-masing berjudul menulis dan menerbitkan jurnal internasional.
There are 5 books from Duta Wacana Christian University as the prizes, and some vouchers from Yakum Rehabilitation Center. For the lucky participants, there are 10 5 books and 10 vouchers for free coffee and swimming in Yakum Rehabilitation Center.
Jawaban pertanyaan di kolom chat dengan format nomor pertanyaan. Jadi misalnya pertanyaan pertama saya ketik 1, kemudian spasi nama Anda, spasi jawaban Anda. Sekali lagi format jawabannya adalah nomor pertanyaan. Jadi 1 atau nomor 2 atau nomor 3, nomor 4, nomor 5. Nanti akan ada 5 pertanyaan. Kemudian spasi nama Anda, spasi jawaban. Penjawab tercepat akan menjadi pemenang dari pertanyaan tersebut. Apakah Anda sudah siap? Kita akan mulai dari sekarang. Pertanyaan pertama, silakan ketik 1, spasi nama Anda, spasi jawaban Anda. Pertanyaan pertama. Apakah nama program yang dibahas di seminar kali ini? Apakah nama program yang dibahas di seminar kali ini? Itu terlalu mudah ya. Kalau tidak bisa menjawab, aduh, terlalu mudah. Saya akan hitung 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Silakan menjawab. Sudah banyak jawabannya ini ya, lumayan. Saya tunggu sekali lagi. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Terima kasih yang sudah menjawab jawabannya adalah Agrilab. Sangat mudah ya, tertera di nama saya di sini ya. Sangat mudah sekali. Kita akan masuk ke pertanyaan kedua. Untuk sekali lagi 1 buku menarik persembahan LPPM dan 2 voucher berenang khusus kopi senilai total Rp50.000 di Cafe Capable. Pertanyaan nomor 2, silakan ketik 2 spasi nama Anda spasi jawaban. Pertanyaan kedua, apakah nama kota di mana proyek yang dibahas ini berlangsung? Apakah nama kota di mana proyek yang dibahas ini berlangsung? Wah, ini menghitung sudah banyak jawaban ya. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Terima kasih jawaban Anda. Jawabannya adalah Purworejo. Selamat untuk Anda yang benar dan tercepat menjawab ya. Sekali lagi format jawabannya adalah nomor pertanyaan, spasi nama, spasi jawaban. Kita akan masuk ke pertanyaan ketiga. Pertanyaan.
Welcome, Mr. T. So at the moment they are having quizzes for the participants to get the door prizes. We are almost at the end of the event, of the workshop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Terima kasih sudah menjawab. Jadi ada 2 proyek ya. Proyek yang pertama dan jawaban dari pertanyaan ini adalah stall jamur, rumah jamur. Kemudian proyek yang kedua adalah stall roti. Nah, kalau ada penjawab tercepatnya itu 2 kali menang ya. Nanti penjawab kedua maka yang akan mendapatkan hadiah untuk pertanyaan berikutnya. Kita masuk ke pertanyaan keempat, kedua terakhir ya. Siap-siap jarinya dilemaskan dahulu mungkin. Sekali lagi, nomor, spasi nama, spasi jawaban. Pertanyaan keempat. Pada proyek stall roti, coba diingat-ingat proyek stall roti. Ada berapa jumlah roda pada hasil modifikasi stall motor tersebut? Ya, cukup cepat ya ini, wow. Ya, terima kasih atas jawaban Bapak Ibu Saudara-saudari. Jawabannya adalah 3 ya. Kalau saya benar ya 3 ya. Semoga saya tidak salah. Ada 3 ya cuma. Terima kasih. Kita akan lanjut ke pertanyaan terakhir. Wah, ini semoga bisa dijawab dan menjadi hadiah yang akan Anda terima, yaitu sekali lagi 1 buku menarik dari LPPM KDW dan 2 buah voucher berenang plus kopi di Cafe Capable PRY. Pertanyaan kelima, 5 spasi nama, spasi jawaban. Apakah 2 warna dominan pada poster publikasi acara ini? 2 warna dominan pada poster publikasi acara ini. Ya, ini adalah apa namanya ya, request dari PRY.
Backgroundnya silver ya,
Bukan yang itu Pak, jadi request dari PRY warnanya ini kalau bisa ada warna birunya ya, jadi ini adalah warna dari PRY ya. Jadi warnanya adalah putih. Mbak Anggrek itu Mbak Anggrek. Oh Mbak Anggrek, ya perwakilan PRY lah itu. Terima kasih kepada semua yang sudah berpartisipasi pada kuis sore hari ini. Selamat pada setiap pemenang menjawab tercepat pada setiap pertanyaan. Kami akan menghubungi nanti untuk kami berikan hadiah dari LPPM dan PRY sore hari ini.
Kurang susah kuisnya, Bu.
Kurang susah kuisnya, itu terlalu mudah ya. Ini memang hanya kuis kecepatan jari sebenarnya. Aduh. Ya, baik, terima kasih. Kuis telah selesai. Saat ini kita akan melangsungkan sesi foto bersama. Kami mohon Bapak.
We are going to do a photo session. Please turn on the video so we can document your presence.
Ya, Kak Jo, silahkan memandu.
Jo, please lead the photo session, or I will count it.
1, 2, 3. Oke. Halaman kedua. 1, 2, 3.
Second page. 1, 2, 3.
Masih ada lagi. Halaman ketiga.
Third slide. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, please use the inclusion sign, Dave.
Finger like this is inclusive.
Put your little.
Okay.
Diulang lagi ya. Ajo.
Diulang lagi ya. Fotonya dari awal ya. Oke. Halaman pertama, 1, 2.
Okay, slide 1, 2, 3.
Sudah? Oke,
Okay.
halaman kedua.
Second slide, 1.
Sudah? Halaman kedua.
Second slide, 1, 2, 3.
Hah? 3. Halaman 2. Iya, sekali lagi ya. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3.
3.
Lagi, halaman ketiga.
Okay, the third slide, 1, 2, 3.
Sekali lagi masih? Atau sudah habis?
Using the inclusive sign.
Kosong. Oke, halaman
Simple.
4 tidak menyalakan kamera. Terima kasih untuk Bapak Ibu semua.
Thank you for all of you participating in the event.
Maksimal sekali ya supaya tampil cantik dan menawan, kita menahan nafas. Nah, dengan ini keseluruhan acara Agrilab
Now I'm ending
peningkatan kualitas desain alat kerja pertanian
the
dan
online
perkebunan
expo.
telah selesai. Kami berterima kasih untuk seluruh pihak yang sudah
Thank you for all the parties
dan menolong terselenggaranya acara ini dengan
collaborating in this
Saya
project.
mewakili seluruh panitia yang berdiri
Representing all the committee,
permohonan maaf apabila terdapat
I would like
hal yang
to
kurang berkenan
apologize if there are
dalam
things
acara sore hari ini.
that
Saya Stephanie
do not work as
ini mohon
I'm
pamit.
Stephanie,
Sampai
as the
ketemu di
MC.
lain waktu. Salam
Thank you.
Matur nuwun Pak
Bye-bye.
Terima kasih Pak Lestari.
And thank you to all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Terima kasih. Terima kasih.
Thank you, David.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Semuanya sehat. Terima kasih Pak Agus.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, thank you. I hope I help you well, David.